What's going on, guys? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. It's your boy Mo Huddle, and I'm back. I wanted to do an update video on Rarible because I am very bullish on this project. I am very bullish on what's to come to Rarible. And I just wanted to give an update video. I got a DM just asking about, what I still think. So I just thought might as well make a video about it too, right? So usually whenever I do share things, especially on my YouTube channel, I try to keep things that are more high quality, alts, than I would on my Twitter. Now, don't get me wrong, all of this is very, very risky. Buying RARI tokens is very risky. It is not guaranteed to go up. And none of this is financial advice. This is purely entertainment, for entertainment purposes. And, I'm not a financial advisor. I never have been. I am definitely not qualified for none of that. But I will present to you guys why I'm still bullish and why I stick to the facts. I use logic and reason with my analysis. And so, yeah, let's just jump right in. So basically, right now, from the last video, if you're not up to date with Rarible, go look at my last video first on what Rarible is, and then come back and watch this video. Now, I'm going to be talking about now, the progress that they've made. So far, Rarible has been crushing it as far as like being different, right? Because that's what really made me invest in them in the first place. Rarible is very different. They do things very differently than any other marketplace, and they're constantly leading, that momentum when it comes to all this stuff. And this is like a beautiful example. They just recently added on March 17th. They added Polygons. They have 4 chains. There's no other, marketplace, NFT marketplace right now that has 4 chains. There's absolutely none, and that's what's so great about them, right? And they also have multiple NFT wallets on their website. So it's also another really cool thing, guys. And like, I'm not gonna get into the details of those things because I just want to make this video more simpler than going into full detail. But the point I'm just trying to make is that they're constantly pushing the boundaries here. They have 4 chains, right? No one has 4 chains. And they're also, trying to add Soul next. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, these guys are trying to be the NFT marketplace exchange. Because when you go to their page here and you look at the jobs that they're hiring for, they're looking for a Rust developer, right? Rust is a native language for Solana. And so, guys, like, this stuff is very, crystal clear to me that eventually Soul will be a part of that 5th chain. So I don't know if I can just pull it back up here. They're eventually gonna see a 5th chain here, guys. It's gonna be Solana because they're hiring for a developer. So I mean, it's pretty cool to see that. And also, in February they added something called floor bids, right? So basically, whenever an NFT hit a certain price point, that you basically just buy it up automatically, which is, again, it's these little things that are gonna keep building up. Eventually, it's going to happen all at once before you know it. And they're constantly pushing the boundaries. They're constantly trying to develop and always pushing for new innovation ideas and all this amazing stuff for the platform itself. So overall, I'm bullish on it. And from the fundamental side, there's all the most reasons you can be bullish for it. And they're very transparent as well. The CEOs on podcasts talking about what they're doing, talking about what's coming, and I'm not going to be surprised. Hopefully, in the next 2 or 3 months, we do get that Soul chain added here. So now that I've talked kind of about what's happened, to piggyback off the last video, with these new advancements that took place on the actual Rarible marketplace, I kind of want to pivot towards the price now and talk about what's happening in the market. So basically over here, let me see, this right here is what I'm looking for. So basically, I posted this on my Twitter a while ago. I think, let's see here. Yeah, I don't think I have it here. But basically, I posted this on my Twitter on that thread that I shared in the first initial video. And I'm basically just covering what I think is going to happen next with this price chart. And basically, this price chart just tells us a story, right? Because if we paid close attention, the price drops here at $6, and then it falls, right? And then after it falls, it kind of goes sideways, right? Holds this range low, and then it goes on a nice run, right? I think it does like a 35x or something crazy, right? So this is like a, yeah, like a 30x almost. Cool. So it does a 30x, awesome, and then the price pulls back. But what's very interesting is not just the price falling down, but what's more interesting is where it falls to and how it's acting off this certain key pivot area that I marked here. So what you've noticed here is like there's like horizontal resistance right here from this open, and 1, 2, 3 taps showed that this is a support, right? And literally we saw like a nice bounce from $7 all the way up to 40, almost $40, which is very nice to see. And now we're starting to see that, you know, grind back downwards. And now we're at the key pivot region. And now the real question is, are we going to go back to this low here, right? The low of the range. In my personal opinion, I think it's less likely that we go back down to this low. It's more likely that we hold this key pivot and then go back up again. And the reason for that is because if we look here, guys, right, you can see that volume is decreasing, right? These are volume bars, right? And these volume bars are slowly decreasing, right? And at the same time, from the high here, we can see that price is falling. When we look at the general rules in volume analysis, this chart that I have here actually, whenever volume is decreasing like we see here and price is essentially falling, that's a bullish interpretation. So we can clearly assume that, like, as long as this key pivot holds, this is most likely going to start going back upwards here, right? And of course, nothing is guaranteed, guys. I do think it's less likely to break this low here, because if it does, that is a possibility I don't want to ignore. If it breaks this $5 region, it's going to go back down to $1 again, right? And, you know, we have to look at this from a logical and also just try our best to gauge, you know, what's going to happen here. And again, just looking at how long this has been correcting, I mean, if you look at it, right, it's been almost a year. It's actually been a year now that has been essentially going sideways, right, with no clear direction. But it's not just about it correcting for a year. It's more so coming off of a big rally. And then this is a correction, guys, right? This is a correction. I mean, this also is very possible to go way past these highs here, right? That's also a possibility that we also can take a look at as well, right? We can explore that as well. But nonetheless, it is a riskier alt because it is a lower market cap. And I do like to look here, like where it's being transacted the most. And it's obvious that most of the transactions are happening on Coinbase. And I'm not mad at that, honestly, because guys, Coinbase, they custody like 90% of all of crypto in the whole world. Like, it's insane how much how much money is on Coinbase, right? So overall, guys, I'm very bullish on, you know, the price and the fundamentals. But guys, my idea can get invalidated, and that's why I just dollar cost average, because overall, I mean, this gray box is essentially the, you know, that mid support that I drew. And I just don't think that we're going to just break it. I'm gonna have a hard time. I think that we're at least going to get a reaction off of here, right? At least like a pump back up to $12 or $13, and then maybe if we can hold a low here, create an inverse head and shoulder pattern, and then go back up again to new highs. Same thing that we saw here. See that right there? This is literally like a inverse head and shoulder before we saw price go back up to these highs here. Again, you know, even we look at the RSI too here, this is pretty bullish, right? Look at the RSI, like it's peaking up really nicely here on this EMA that I have. But I don't want to give you guys too much hopium, because, you know, you should not be buying or selling alts off of emotions. This is really not a good recipe. When you buy things, you should be, you know, understanding what the project is essentially, you know, what the company is, how they use the tokens, and understanding the overall, you know, fundamentals. Because at the end of the day, guys, you know, like, you want to understand your investment, right? You don't want to just buy things and just hold things that you don't completely understand. That's how you end up losing money over time. And, you know, it is a proven fact that the longer you hold, the longer term horizon for like investors, like the longer that people hold, like, or the longer they have their time horizon, the more likely they're going to be successful when it comes to investing. So, you know, I'm very bullish on the long-term future of Rarible, and that's why I just continue to, you know, I do ladder, and I try my best to understand projects, research projects, and then, look at the chart as well to see where are key pivot areas, where are areas that are highs, where are areas that are lows, what area should I buy. And this looks like to me an area where I would want to buy. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know if it's going to hold this area, but it looks like it's going to hold it here because, we are grinding down here. So we'll see how it plays out in the end, right? I mean, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. So yeah, alt season is definitely also around the corner. I guess it's not really related too much to this video, but right here, my last Bitcoin analysis, if you want to check that out, I kind of talk about how alts are getting ready to run. And that's why I've been doubling down on some of the alts that I hold, because I believe that they're going to start running now. And it's ironic that RARI is sitting at a support when, these alts look like they're about to start running, right? And this is like the index of all altcoins. So like it kind of tells you like majority of the alts are going to start running here. So we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to sub and like if you haven't already. If you don't, your portfolio will go to zero, and that's a proven fact. I'm just kidding, by the way. And as always, hodl, hodl, hodl. Peace.